Muted.
So we just want to welcome everyone. Today's Thursday, February 11th, 2016, and you're joining us here for NCJW's Social Media 201 webinar. I'm Aviva Crystal, the Community Engagement Associate, and I'm here with Rebecca Crevitt, the Community Engagement and Communications Associate. We're so glad everyone could join us today, and we're about to show you some really helpful tools that Facebook and Twitter offer for driving engagement in a few different ways. For those of you who were not with us last webinar, Social Media 101, I'll recap. In that presentation, we discussed the bare basics of using Facebook and Twitter, such as how to set up your section and personal accounts, how to tweet, and how to post. We saw a number of you posting and tweeting after the presentation, so we're very glad to have given you the tools to get started. Don't worry if you weren't able to join in on the first webinar. We're going to go over lots of really helpful stuff today that you can put to use at any level. So today's main goal is to build on those basics by letting you know how to craft your section's social media presence and to let you in on the ways that you can leverage social media in order to gain more followers, boost your visibility, and promote your section's events. We know how important and helpful social media is for these tasks, and we want to show that it's easy to do and pretty addictive once you get started. Now just remember, for today's presentation, we'll provide you with a number of relevant resources after this training, and please don't hesitate to contact myself or Rebecca afterwards if you have any remaining questions, and we'll be giving you our contact info at the end of the presentation. We'd like to thank everyone for the feedback that you gave us, that some of you gave us when registering for this webinar, and the feedback that some of you gave us from Social Media 101. Your questions really guided the creation of these tutorials, so that input was very helpful for us, and we hope it will be helpful for all of you as well.
We also want to reiterate from last time that we understand how hard learning these skills can be. Aviva and I would like to give each of you credit for being here, since it can seem tricky picking these skills up. We want to assure you that with practice and patience, you can be a social media whiz too, and you can use it to join the latest wave of social justice activism along with all of your fellow NCJW members. Just a few housekeeping points before we begin. We just want to remind everyone that this webinar is being recorded. The agenda for today is as follows. We're going to give you the anatomy of great tweets and posts, followed by an explanation on Facebook ads and promoted tweets with a discussion about the analytics for each of these items. We will then talk about creating Facebook events for you to share on your pages. We'll have a Q&A session after each topic and then again at the end. For our presentation, you all are muted, and during our question and answer sessions, everyone will be unmuted and able to ask questions in an open forum style. So please be aware of that. Thank you again for being here, and let's get started. Before we break down what makes a successful tweet, I want to discuss for a minute the different measures of success for a tweet. You could have the goals of getting new followers, of having a tweet gain many retweets and favorites, of getting people to sign an action alert or attend an event, a large number of participants in a Twitter storm, or a lot of responses to a particular tweet. There are many different types of tweets that can serve all of these purposes. We could really have a whole workshop on them. I'll be sending you many resources with some more of that information after the call, but for now I want to show you the most basic anatomy of a successful tweet. Thank you to Hootsuite, an online Twitter platform, for this awesome resource. This is an image of a template of a successful tweet, and I will go through each of these steps. First, you want to write engaging content that speaks to your particular audience. This could include a call to action, political commentary, information about an upcoming event, etc. Remember to target the Twitter language towards your followers and really think about your audience before tweeting. Next, include a link either of the event page or the article you're discussing. If the link is too long or ugly with a lot of numbers and letters, I highly recommend you go to bit.ly.com to shorten it. You can also create a Bitly account to rename the links. After the link is where the hashtag usually goes. Be sure to include a relevant hashtag related to the topic. I wouldn't recommend making up hashtags unless you're doing so purposefully and are going to encourage other people to tweet it. Remember, hashtags are used for having conversations that everyone can see in one place, or archiving tweets about a particular topic. If you begin tweeting using a random hashtag that isn't connected elsewhere, it will serve no purpose, and if someone clicks it, it will lead nowhere. Definitely be thoughtful about the hashtags. If you don't have a hashtag to use, that's completely okay. A tweet can be very successful even without one. Lastly, if you have a graphic or a logo for an event or a meme, you should include it. Images are great to have your tweet stand out from a sea of tweets that only have words. Remember, feel free to peruse the NCJW Facebook and Twitter pages to use our graphics. You are more than welcome to share everything and anything that we post. This is an example of one of NCJW's latest, most successful tweets. As you can see, it received 23 retweets and 11 favorites. Part of this tweet's success is that it is a bold statement about refugees being tweeted during the President's State of the Union address. The hashtag SOTU was the one being used at the time, so everyone following along to that hashtag could see our unapologetic proclamation to support refugees. This obviously struck a chord with folks in the right time, making it a very successful tweet.
So now that we've heard what makes a great tweet, I'll be talking about the anatomy of a great Facebook post. I'm going to go over some stuff that is very similar to what Rebecca just walked us through, so you should definitely keep those lessons in mind. Thinking about what makes a great Facebook post is a bit like thinking about a marketing campaign. Before you even begin to post it, it's important to think about the post objective. What do you want people to do when they see it? Send traffic to your section site, attend an event, read an article about a relevant issue? Make sure your call to action is clear when you begin setting up the post, and use language that is eye-catching. For example, if you were to post about an upcoming trafficking event, you could use a line like, "Interested in helping to end human trafficking? Attend our event on February 3rd to find out what you can do." If you have any notable speakers or activities planned, you can add something in about those. You could then include a link to the event page and provide the image to allow your viewers to go to the site. As Rebecca mentioned before, make sure to shorten the link on Bitly. It's very easy to get a shorter URL. Just copy the long version, go to bit.ly.com, and paste it in the box, then click Shorten. You can then use this link to make a cleaner, shorter post. And, like with Twitter, don't forget to use hashtags to join in on the larger conversation. Another very important part of a Facebook post is the image. This is where viewers get their first impression of your post and often decide to read or scroll. Posting a link will usually draw an image from the page or article that you're linking to. If you don't want to do this, you have the option to use your own image. Something that's also helpful is to encourage engagement and stay engaged yourself. Make sure to post regularly, at least 2 or 3 times a week. Also, if you want to ask a question in your post, make sure to check back and see what sorts of reactions you're getting, and chime in to make sure users know you're with them. If someone asks a question in any of your posts, you can answer them right there. Staying engaged and current gives members added incentives to check back on your section's page, and therefore stay up to date with the latest events and news. So now I'd like to show you an example of one of NCJW's most successful Facebook posts. As you can see, this post in memory of Sandra Bland and Tamir Rice got more than 500 likes and almost 750 shares. You can also see the large number of comments made. The main reasons for the post's success are its timeliness and relevance, which lends support to the Black Lives Matter campaign. It's a compelling image and a powerful message, and through the huge rate of interaction, it's clear that using this platform is a very influential tool to spread the word about important issues like this.
Thank you, Aviva, for showing us that very powerful Facebook post. We will now begin our live demo by diving into using Facebook ads. You can pay to place a Facebook ad for a number of different purposes. It takes your message and sends it directly to a target audience that you pick. You may see ads on your own personal page on the right sidebar that says Sponsored. That's how you know that someone is paying for you to see that. Facebook ads gets more eyes on your message. It's an excellent resource to boost your section's visibility, promote events, or draw attention to causes or petitions. Just like having an organizational page, you need to be using your personal Facebook to create an ad. To create an ad, go on the left sidebar underneath where it says Newsfeed and Messages. There you will see Ads Manager. Click on that and it will take you to a page of analytics that we will discuss later. At the top of the page, you'll see, oh, well, we're loading now, so give it a minute. At the top of the page, you will see Manage Ads, Account Settings, Billing, Power Editor, and Tools. To set up a payment method, click on Billing and edit Payment Methods. Now you can add a payment method that you will use to pay for your ad. Once that is done, click on Create Ad on the top right. You can see all the purposes for which you can create an ad. For example, you can use a Facebook ad to encourage people to like your section's page, which you can do by clicking Promote Your Page, or to send people to an event's registration page, which you can do by clicking on Send People to Your Website. At National, we recently placed an ad to encourage people to apply for a scholarship to Washington Institute, sending them to the scholarship application form. By targeting a particular audience on Facebook, we were able to reach a whole new group of people who may not have found out about the scholarship otherwise. Today, we're going to use the example of placing an ad to encourage people to register for Washington Institute. Click on the third option, which is Send People to Your Website, and on the right, you'll see a box that says Enter URL to promote. I'm going to paste in the Washington Institute registration page. Now, you can name your campaign anything you want for your internal use. I'm calling it Register for Washington Institute. Next, on the bottom right, you'll see a blue button that says Set Audience and Budget. Click on that to begin creating your ad. Now is where you'll choose the audience that you will want to see the Facebook ad. You can target particular states or even parts of states. For example, I'm going to hone in on New York City. Next, you can choose an age, range, and gender for your audience. After that is the most fun. You can choose something called detailed targeting, people who fit different demographic features, interests, behaviors, or more categories. Under demographics, you'll find categories such as education level, generational details, and clearly many more. Next, under interests, you can choose current events under hobbies and activities, and political and social issues. Under behaviors, you can click on charitable donations to find people who donate through political causes. For example, if your section has a back-to-school store, you can try targeting people in your city who are interested in shopping, or parents to try to expand your back-to-school store volunteers. All this information is collected through Facebook's algorithms, which is gathered through the pages they like, events they attend, and other criteria. You can choose from any of these categories, or you can type in your own. There are many, many categories, so feel free to play around with them here and check all of them out before you place your first ad. Because we're promoting Washington Institute, I'm going to type in feminism, and there are other options in the drop-down menu that they offer me. Since we're honoring Edie Windsor and Roberta Kaplan, I'm going to type in same-sex marriage and also activism. On the right, you'll see the audience definition, which is a summary of who your audience is. As long as it falls into the green area, you're okay. If your audience is too broad, Facebook will tell you by pointing to the area in the yellow portion. If it is too narrow to be successful, the arrow will point to the red section. Right now, our potential reach is almost 600,000 people. You can also add connection types. You can choose to only show this ad to people who already like your page, friends of people who like your page, or people who don't already like your page. This way, you can really hone in on who you want to see this ad and attract those kinds of people. Here, again, I will encourage you to play around with the audiences and try different things out. As you'll see when we get to budget, you really don't have to spend so much money to have a big impact. Now, to get into the budget, you can choose either a daily budget or a lifetime budget. Daily budget means that whatever amount you type in will be the amount that's spent each day on this ad. If you choose lifetime, this is the amount of money that will be spent over the lifespan of the campaign. For example, if we want to run this campaign for a week, we would choose that to the right of where it says schedule. For lifetime budget, you must spend at least $5 a day. So I will type in $35 so we can spend that. To the right, it will show you with this amount of money how many people you can expect the ad to be shown to. As you can see, the more we increase the budget, the more people will see this ad. If you have any questions, Facebook also has these handy information bubbles that explain what each step means. Because we are Facebook ad beginners, we're going to leave the rest of the process as it is on Facebook's recommended settings for how the ad will be presented, how often, and how it will charge us. For the ad set name, you can describe your type of audience for your internal use only. Then, once you have your audience set, click Choose Ad Creative. You can always go back to the audience page if you decide you want to change it at any point. This is where you're going to build what the ad is going to look like. You can choose Select Images to pick a graphic for your ad. Facebook, unfortunately, has a lot of strict rules when it comes to images for ads. For example, the image you choose cannot have a lot of text on it. This means that the image you select for an ad cannot be a flyer or an image with a lot of words. Here, I'm going to choose this NCJW logo that I've already uploaded. You can crop the image by making it bigger or smaller by clicking on the crop button on the bottom right corner of the image. You can add up to 6 images, and Facebook will begin scrolling through them as the campaign goes on and show the one that gets the most clicks. Underneath where it says what text and links you want to use, you want to make sure that you choose the correct page in case you manage more than one page. Facebook has a new feature where you can connect it to an Instagram ad. We're going to skip this for now, but just know that you can optimize your ad for Instagram in case your section has one. Now is where you begin to build your text. You can choose your headline. We'll choose Register Today. This will be the largest text at the bottom of the ad. Then the more detailed text goes to the top. You can only use 90 characters. That's even shorter than a tweet, so be aware of that when you're considering what copy you want to include. As you can see on the right, this looks like a Facebook post. When people click on it, it will link to the Washington Institute registration page as we chose earlier. If you'd like to choose a call to action button, you can choose Apply Now or Sign Up, or choose not to have a button at all. To the right, underneath where it says Ad Preview, you can see what your full ad will look like. At the top, they give an option for people to like your page if they don't already do so. Underneath where it says Mobile Newsfeed, you can see what it will look like on people's phones. Okay, now you can review your order, making sure it's correct, and then you can place your order by clicking on the bright green button on the bottom right. Facebook will then take a few hours to review the ad, make sure it's up to their qualifications, and after that, your ad will be served far and wide to your selected audience. Thank you, everyone. We are going to take a break and pause for a question and answer session. We're going to unmute. Hi, everyone. Does anyone have any questions so far?
Could you go over a little bit more the bit.ly I have not heard of before?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We can actually take you to bit.ly.com.
Okay.
And show that to you.
Thanks.
Basically what bit.ly is, you don't have to make any kind of account with them. You just go to bit.ly.com, right here as you can see on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take an example. We'll take the Washington Institute, even though it's a short URL. You just take whatever link you want, you paste it into this box here, and then bit.ly shortens it for you. So you can use that, and it's just a neater way to keep your posts short and keep them looking tidy.
And actually, and another thing that we can show you quickly, I'm just going to show you on my account here. If you do create an account with them, nope, that is not the right password. Also not right. One more time, but if not, I'll just explain it. If you go to, here we go. You can customize the link and call it, you know, anything you want here.
Okay.
So,
okay.
So
that would be your doing.
Yeah. So you can, in addition to, if you want to be a little fancier, you can also create a personalized link.
Just looks so nice. You know, it's kind of cool.
But for a quick tweet, it just is simple to just drop the link in as Aviva showed us, and use the letters and numbers, and that's an easy way to go as well. So,
okay.
Hope that explains that.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, when you were going over the list, you know, of audiences that you could pick, I didn't see where you could check off Jewish. Is that an option?
Oh, yes, it's definitely an option. I can show you, let's just we will quickly.
We're having our computer's a little bit slow, so bear with us. But we'll log in right now and we'll show you what it looks like.
So where we were showing you where you type in feminism and you can look up the behaviors, that's where it is.
Yeah, you can actually just type it right into that box and it'll pop up.
Okay.
We're going to show you that just so that's clear.
Since we're going back here, does anybody have any other questions that we can show you while we're on this page?
I don't think so.
Right here, we'll type
So
in.
here underneath detailed targeting, you can type in Judaism, and you can see you can do Reform Judaism, Orthodox Judaism. I don't know what crypto Judaism is. Progressive Judaism would probably be a good option for us.
Mm-hmm. So lots of different options. They pretty much have every kind of demographic in the book.
Great. We will have time for other Q&A sessions afterwards, but if there's no other questions right now, we're going to move on.
We're going to talk about Rebecca's going to tell us about the analytics of these anything you'd like to ask.
Any questions about the analytics before we move on?
I don't know about other people, but you were muted, so I saw the demonstration.
We lost the sound.
Oh.
Oh.
Sorry about that. Technical difficulties then.
Yeah, sorry about that. Can you hear us now?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
great. So we'll just keep everybody unmuted and we'll go through it once again so that we can explain it to you.
Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, let's keep you guys unmuted then.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm now going to give you, again, an overview of the analytics page that we saw earlier when we first entered Facebook ads. If you click on the name of the ad that you want to look into, you'll be brought to a more detailed analytics page. Can you hear me? Just want to check in again.
Now I can. I wasn't hearing you before.
Oh, good. Okay. Very good. All right.
Wonderful.
So I'm going to click on Washington Institute Scholarships, the ad I mentioned earlier, where we encourage people to apply to our Washington Institute scholarships, and we sent them to the application page. As you can see on the left, under performance, it got 123 website clicks, and that over 16,000 people were reached. That we spent $25 on the whole campaign. If you click on the next tab, Audience, you can see the breakdown of the age and gender of the audience. That way, you can make sure that the ad is being served to the right demographic and that you're reaching your objective. The blue is the people who clicked on the ad, and the green is the people who just saw the ad. To the right of that is placement. This is where the ad was seen most or clicked through most. You can tell that most people used their phones to see the ad. Underneath where it says ad set name, you can see how much each website click cost. The lower this number, the better, because it means that more people clicked on it. Once you've placed multiple ads, you can begin comparing and contrasting their performances. Feel free to play around with this page and features to find out which will be most helpful for you for your purposes and goals. Analytics are a great tool to determine if you're meeting your communication goals.
All right, so any questions since you were able to hear it this last time?
Not yet. Thanks.
Nope.
All right, great.
So I'm going to lead us into our talk about promoted tweets. The idea behind these are basically the same as Facebook ads, paying for a tweet to show up in someone's timeline and serving it to an appropriate. If you click on your home page, all the way to the right underneath tweet, you'll see the word advertise. Click this, then click on create a new campaign at the top right. Again, you can choose a campaign objective like sending people to your website or promoting a particular tweet. Let's say you're trying to get more followers for your section's Twitter account. Click on followers and you can begin setting up your promoted tweet. We're going to name our campaign Follow NCJW Sample Section. We'll do that just as soon as our computer is unfrozen. There we go. Again, like on Facebook, after this is done, we'll be asked when we want to run the campaign. You can run it daily without an end date or choose a start and end date. Next, under Select Your Audience, just like on Facebook, you can select a location. Again, I'm going to choose New York City. So we'll click that, and that's where the ad is going to be served. You can choose a gender of the user, languages, and then what Twitter calls additional audience features. This is just like the demographics, interests, and behaviors buttons on Facebook. You can search the interest category by browsing the options such as family, society, and education. If you click on behaviors, you can choose philanthropy or lifestyle, which can also be very helpful for narrowing your audience. Again, feel free to play around with these features to figure out what audience would be best for you. Scroll through and see what the options are. Next, underneath Set Your Budget, you'll decide how much money to spend. Okay. Just one moment. As you can see, there's so many options, it's giving our computer a headache. Okay, so next underneath Set Your Budget, you're going to decide how much money to spend, so you need to pick a certain amount per day. You can also set a total budget so that the campaign will end once all the money in your total budget is spent. To the right, in the blue box, you can see, just like on Facebook, the estimated reach of your promoted tweet. For ours, you can reach 7 million Twitter users. That's a lot of people. If you scroll down, next you can choose the creative. You can see some examples of best practices here. As a reminder, this is a tweet that is encouraging people to follow you. So as Twitter perfectly explains, you should have the call to action to follow you and explain why your audience should do so. So you can say, follow us to learn more about social justice for women, children, and families. And then, if you click preview, you can see what your tweet is going to look like. When you're ready to go, click launch, and then you'll be taken to the spot where you input your payment details. And you can just do this as you would input a PayPal account. To track how your ad is doing, click the ads logo at the top left of your screen. There, you can track impressions, engagement, how much was spent, and get a summary of the campaign. So, as we saw, it's very similar to Facebook ads, same concept, and you're able to reach a lot of different people. Were there any questions about the Twitter portion of this presentation?
I think I have to play with it too.
Exactly, yeah. The more you play with it, the more you just sort of see what's in there, the better you'll get, and the better your ads will be.
Okay, question. If someone clicks on a promoted tweet, then are they automatically following you, number one? And number two, like, then what do you learn about that person? Do you get a message like you normally would saying so-and-so is following you?
So if someone were to click, it depends on what sort of promoted tweet you're looking to do. If someone, say, clicks on the follow button, they see your promoted tweet, they're interested in what you guys have to offer, and if they click follow, then yeah, you would see, so and so is following you. And you can also track who, how that is affecting your ad by looking at the engagements button right here. This will tell you, how many impressions you got, which is just how many people saw the ad, and it'll also tell you how many clicks there were. So how many people actually clicked on the ad, say maybe to go to your website, maybe to go to an event page. So that's why analytics are so important, is because you can keep track of what exactly is happening with every ad you make, so you know that your money is going to something important and that it's working.
Yeah, you may not know which people are just following you just because, and which people are following you because they saw your ad. But if you place an ad requesting that people follow you, and in that week you see a jump of 100 people start following you, then you'll know that your ad is successful, and you'll be able to see again the demographics of it. I apologize, we haven't placed a Twitter ad here at NCJW yet at National, so we don't have the example of what this page will look like once it's filled. But again, that's where the experimenting comes in. You'll be able to really spend very little. You could spend $20 and then see where it takes you and see how much engagement you get.
Yeah. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Wonderful. Any other questions before we move on to our next topic? All right. So we are going to move on to the next. We're going to kind of switch gears away from paid advertisements, which are shown to relevant viewers based on demographics and appear as part of a news feed with no real action. They don't really have to do anything to see the ad. And instead now I'm going to talk about something that requires your section members to actively spread the word to their networks, which is Facebook event pages. The nice thing is that everyone can use these to increase their event attendance, and it's also exciting because it's free. Facebook event pages can be used for all kinds of different events, for something as big as Washington Institute, or something like a local fundraiser. The main purpose of event pages is to present all the details on Facebook and increase attendance and excitement by having attendees share on their personal pages. This way, people outside of their usual network will see the event and might be inspired to go because their friends or family members are attending. When you'd like to create an event for your section, you'll need to start by going to your section page. We'll be showing you this example from the national page. So now, in order to create your event page, go to the top bar where it says Timeline, About, Photos, Likes, and More. Click on More and scroll down to where it says Events and click on that. What you'll see here is a dashboard of your past events, if you have any, and toward the middle of the page on the top right, you'll see a button that says Create Event. Click on that. What pops up is very simple. What you need to do first is find an event photo. This can be a special event logo or a picture of your section members engaged in a past similar event. Make sure it's something relatable to the event itself. Next, you'll name the event. For example, if you're promoting a reproductive justice event, you'll type that in there. Put the location as well so that people know exactly where the event will be held and so they can get there. Then you can add the date and time. Facebook offers you the option to add an end time, but if there isn't a set one, you don't need to do that. Then there's also space for a ticket URL. If you need your participants to buy a ticket or RSVP on a different site, you can add the registration page there. Next, you're going to write a description of the event. This is very important to grab your viewers' attention. Make sure it's concise and has all the necessary information. Then there's a section below that says Category, where you can describe the type of event. You can click fundraiser, volunteering, whatever the event is. And then finally, there's a box here that says only hosts can post on the event wall. It can be nice to have people able to comment to say how excited they are or post questions, but that's completely up to you. When you're all set, you can click Publish and it will appear. To give you an example of what an event looks like, I will show you the Washington Institute event page. As you can see, at the top we have the date, the time, the location, and a link to the ticket page where people can register. The description includes the speakers and some further links. So then, as I mentioned before, the main reason to create a Facebook event page is to increase engagement, to see which friends are going to different events, and to have folks encourage their personal networks to attend. As you can see to the right, folks have the options of saying that they are interested, going, or invited. So we'll show you going right now. We have 69 people going.
Obviously, way more are actually attending. And that's actually something important to note, that even though they may be attending this event, they still have to register for Washington Institute to actually be able to go.
Correct. And then we have 663 people who've been invited by their friends, by individual people. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. Anyone who is invited is going to appear in the invited section, but each individual must choose whether they are interested or going. Now, what I'm about to tell you is very important. The most important thing to note about inviting people to attend an event is that your section page cannot invite people. Only individual people with personal Facebook accounts can invite others to events. So, once you create an event on your section page, each of you should share it on your personal page, or send the event link to your friends and encourage them to attend and ask them to invite their friends on Facebook as well. Now, to share an event on your personal page, you're going to click the Share button on the middle right. This way, it will show up in your news feed, and you can encourage everyone in your friends list to attend. This is a great way to get people who may not be NCJW members to see what your section is up to and maybe attend themselves. Also, each event has its own news feed. As you can see, we at National have posted updates to the news feed, and each person who clicks on the event page can scroll through and see. In addition, every person who is attending will see that these updates in their personal timelines. It's a good way to keep people up to date on the latest event developments. Below, you can see some people who have posted on the event page expressing their excitement about it. For example, Fran here says, "Wish I could be there." All right. Facebook events are a really excellent tool to get the word out and encourage engagement, so we recommend that you take advantage of them for all your events. So we're going to open the floor for our last round of questions. So if there's anything you'd like to ask, now is your chance.
Yeah, sometimes when we get the NCJW national call to actions, is there some way to link those to our section Facebook pages?
Yes, there absolutely is. If you go while you are active on your section's Facebook page, if you go to our page and click Share at the bottom of a Facebook post, you'll be able to share our update on your section's Facebook page.
Okay, I think I tried that, and instead it took me to the national Facebook page, but that particular call to action wasn't on there. It was something that had been mailed out to members in general. So those calls to actions don't show up on your Facebook page.
If it happens to be something that we post on the website, you can link that to a post that you make on your site.
Okay.
So if it's something that you get just in an email that's not on the website, it might not be possible. But if it's something that you find directly there, you can take the link, shorten it in bit.ly if you want, if it's very long. And then, like we were mentioning before, you can write a description, add the link, maybe a hashtag or two if it's relevant, and it'll make for a really nice post.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. Anybody else?
I don't think so. I think it just takes time, and it's a developmental process of learning all of it.
Absolutely.
What where would you suggest we get facts and questions? Should we go to YouTube? Should we Google questions? Where is the best place to get basic information when we need it for Twitter?
Well, you can do either of those things. You can email us. You can always Google. I know that Facebook has a a whole section of help tutorials. So if you want something step by step, typically they can provide that for you.
Okay. Does Twitter have that as well?
Yeah, Twitter does have. If you Google, there are also tons and tons of resources
Okay.
on the internet for great tweets, what makes a great tweet, what makes a good Facebook post. People have written a lot about all these topics.
So use these buzzwords. What makes a great tweet? Or, okay.
Yeah, best practices, usually best practices for Facebook ads.
Okay, I'm writing
find
all
a lot
this
of,
down.
and we'll be sending you some of our favorite resources that we found in the follow-up call as well.
So and the vocabulary, what makes a great tweet, best practices, all right.
Yeah, stuff like that. And if you weren't able, if you didn't get any of the resources that we sent out from after the first webinar, you can feel free to reach out to me and I'll, yeah, so look over the stuff we send you, look online. There's really just such a wealth of information.
Okay.
Hopefully that'll help.
Yeah, and practice really does make perfect here. That's the thing about Facebook ads. It's kind of a new frontier, I think, for a lot of organizations, and it just is about, you know, playing around and seeing what your audience likes the most.
So with the Facebook ad, I had a question. You said we post that we're not really inviting them. We have to invite them from our personal page.
That was that was for Facebook events, and if you create
So we have an event this Sunday. So for example, I wouldn't invite them on the Facebook page. I would invite them on my personal page, on my comment.
Well, you would create the event on your section page, and then you would switch back to your personal page, and you can share the event that way. Once you go to your personal page and then look at the event as though you're just on your own personal page, you'll see that share button. And you can share it on your timeline, you can share it with specific people.
And actually on your own personal, when you're on your own personal Facebook, there will be an invite button that pops up that you can click through all of your friends and invite all of your friends. From the section page, you can't invite people who like your section page to the event. You can only share it on your section's page, and then people who like your section's Facebook page can click attending or if they want to go. But from your personal page, you can actually invite people, and then they'll get a notification that says, you know, that Rebecca Krevitt just invited you to NCJWs Washington Institute, and then from there they can say if they want to attend or not. I know it's a lot of semantics, a lot of words that really sound like
it's a lot of linguistics. It is. It's a lot of right.
Yeah.
What's the difference between sharing and inviting? But there are these subtle differences. But once you get the hang of it and once you start doing it, you'll be able to.
So the semantics, are they social media semantics?
Yes.
Yeah, and the nice thing is that when we say invite or when we say share, there are buttons that say exactly that. So it's not like you're going to be, you know, floating in the ether of the internet, not knowing exactly where to go. It'll have it on there, and you'll be able you'll see where it is. So it is really just a matter of going in and taking a look for yourself, and working with it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions for us? All right. Well, thank you everybody for your questions and for your participation. We hope that this
thank you so much.
Not a problem. We hope that this was a helpful overview for some of these advanced concepts in Facebook and Twitter. And again, we know how complicated it can be and how it can sometimes be challenging to reach audiences and enact successful engagement tactics. So try to have fun with it as much as possible and try new things. And as we mentioned before, we're going to be sending out some more resources about these topics, and please don't hesitate to reach out to either of us. You have our emails right here if you have any further questions or would like to talk to us more about some strategies. So thanks for being here, and everybody enjoy the rest of your week.
Great. Thanks so much. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.